Hello, everybody, and welcome back to part 3 of Session 7 of The Bigger They Are, the Harder They Fall. So, the creature comes crashing down. The spear on the back end explodes under the weight of this creature's massive head, but then explodes through the back of its head as its face plants into the ground. And there it lies, motionless. About a moment or two later, after everyone's like messy, your character's sitting there, and you can hear the boom, boom. It's finally like the combat stops, and like you can feel. I mean, Witchers technically don't feel emotion, but they don't feel emotion. So it's like you jumping with joy or anything like that, right? But you can feel satisfaction knowing that the creature went down.
Do I see Bastion like hobbling over?
I feel like I didn't
Bastion,
even make it there. I just rolled over and looked.
I was gonna say you had literally just got into the rim, and so like on the other side of the pile of rubble, you're able to like kind of like flop. So the two of you guys are leaning against the same pile of rubble, but like backs to each other, and you can kind of like watch that last. As you heard the second like, doof, you can turn and like lie and watch as its face falls forward, and it finishes it off as Tal got this wonderful kill. And everybody has this moment of rejoicing. I mean, Tal is in disbelief that he was able to, like, I killed this thing. You know, Bran is like, oh my god, thank god, this is finally over. There's like a couple seconds of just like, silence as everybody's trying to, like, really process this. When all of a sudden, stepping out of cover is the captain. Steps out of cover with a crossbow, trained on Bran. And he says, "You filthy witch, keep your hands where I can see them. Even so much as an utterance, and I will put this bolt through your tongue."
I
was gonna say something, but I'll hold. I'll stay quiet for now. Then I guess.
He tried to help us. We wouldn't have killed this thing, not really knowing that the magic here. We wouldn't have killed this thing without his help.
He roll me a persuasion check.
We barely did it even with two witches.
Disadvantage.
Ooh.
I'm not going to pass it. It's fine.
Oh.
He shakes his head and says, "He's likely the cause of it all," and continues pressing forward, holding the crossbow trained at him.
Am I close enough to like react at all?
Absolutely, you're too far to be engaged in melee, but you can call across the field. He's about 50 feet from you.
Yeah, I'd probably say something along the lines of is this really the time for this? I think we should be dealing with the other things like the hurt people, including myself. I'm not feeling so hot right now.
He says, "From one danger to the next, such as the life of a soldier." And continues to walk forward with the crossbow bolt trained on Bran.
I'm gonna start heading in that direction.
Tal's gonna move in front of Bran.
I'm not feeling so hot, but I'm gonna
make your way over there. Tell us what.
Tal's gonna move in front of Bran.
So because you were closer to Bran, and obviously you're walking at a bit of a swift pace for a big guy.
But like in front.
Yeah.
I don't
you're
mean
gonna
like
stand directly in front of him, so he's like, has your sweaty, meaty back in front of him, and he's like, "Oh, thanks."
I could do with that thing you did when we were fighting the Fork Tails. That was a tail.
Vampires. So he says to Bran, and you step out of Bran's way, and so he actually granted his eye trained down the sight to Bran. Now he has to like lower the crossbow a bit, so it's almost would be like a hip shot. Lower the crossbow a bit and look up at you, and he's like, "What's this about then?"
Just because he did wrong doesn't mean he didn't try to do right. Everyone deserves a second chance. We all know that.
Innocents have died because of this man. You weren't there that day. And remember, you didn't tell him that this is why this happened today. He's not blaming this on Bran right now. So, because my apologies, because Lennar did not say that this was Bran this time around. So, Go ahead.
Innocents have died because of what you witch hunters have done. You've purged entire villages just because you thought maybe there was some foul business going on. Doesn't make you guys the heroes.
That's less of a persuasion, I think, and more of like an intimidate, unless you feel otherwise. Okay.
Agree.
You don't have to have a disadvantage. You have normal on this one.
Can I just meta real quick,
Sure.
Daelric? I just remembered, I Talabast and I, when he initially went in the portal and we went to the captain, we did tell him that we showed him the wanted poster and he freaked out and summoned the monster.
I was afraid. Okay, I was like, I don't think that happened, but you did do that. Okay, so
Not trying
Thanks.
to get
no, you're good. You're good.
trying to fit the narrative. Sorry.
No, consistency is everything. So otherwise, the game loses its value. So thank you, Messi. So you say that, and so
Sorry.
you say that, and he says, "Not a hero," you say, and he gestures towards the fallen beast, and then he gestures towards all the corpses that are laying about here and there. Some of them parts, some of them puddles, and some of them just corpses, and says, "One beast has fallen today, and another still must." Right? And he says, "And another should still."
I think at this point I've probably reached them,
Yeah,
and I'm
you've
like
hobbled your way
placing
over.
myself next to Tal, and like I'm still hurting, so it probably really hurts to do this. But I sort of puff my chest out and try to make myself look larger, but I don't really say much because I'm mostly focusing on trying to keep my chest puffed out
Mhm.
while not dying.
One second. Yeah, because I don't think that's a thing. Is it, oh, why do you do it that way, you stupid program?
I've got an angry face. I look real mad at him.
Okay. Yep. So, anyways, you puff your chest out to the best that you can, despite your injuries and all that stuff, and you're sitting there and staring at him, and he's looking at the two of you. He's like, "And the two of you, you're willing to put your name on the line for that thing, for the witch?"
Mm-hmm.
Not really got a name, actually. Not a last one, anyway.
Your neck, then.
Well,
Pretty big
I
neck.
don't know whether you noticed, but I just killed that thing.
It was a concerted effort.
Fair enough. He's gonna raise his fists.
He calls back over behind him without looking that way. "And you, Cat Witcher, you're willing to put your neck on the line for this witch as well?" You kind of heard the conversation from over there. You're very keen, so you've heard the conversation. You can't see them, but you can clearly tell they're staying in defiance in his defense, and that Bran has not said a word.
Before Leonard gets to respond, I'm going to say, "Tell him, Leonard. Tell him you'll stand with us."
Aww.
And
Oh,
I'm
Dutz, I want to give
I've
you a hug.
I've got like my sword and shield out, at my side now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna like make myself small.
The medic that's working on you kind of like looks up at you, sees your not acceptance or denial of it, and so it's one of those things where the captain, he's not an idiot. He understands that it's one of those like he's not going to say yes, but if you stand between him and his companions, which are probably you guys, likely you guys, there's a chance that he would stand against him. So it's like
chance.
yeah, it's like he sees that it could go one of either way. It's not set one way or the other. And so he calculates for a couple moments, and he's like, ugh. And he lowers the crossbow so it's not aimed at either of you guys. And he's like, "I said I wanted to talk. Let's all lick our wounds for a few moments. Say an hour's time, we'll meet over there and we'll talk." And he gestures like off to like where a better pile of rubble, a broken open building where like the wall is collapsed, where you can still see chairs around the table. And he says, "We'll meet over there and we'll talk." And
Bran finally speaks up as he turns around to walk away. "As a gesture of good faith, I can tend to your wounded."
"You keep your witchcraft away from my men, or I'll remove the hands you use to cast it."
I'm really
Stubborn as
surprised.
ever.
I'm really surprised the witch hunter captain is letting Bran just walk around for a little bit.
it's one of those things where it's you guys are currently standing in front of him, and he has all of his men are injured. He is out.
I wouldn't do this.
Well, so are we.
Yeah, so am I. There he is.
2 Witchers will die in 1 hit, literally. So.
But everybody knows that an injured Witcher can fight as good as a healthy soldier, right?
Until he gets hit.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
sure, but
You
he doesn't
don't
have health
fight
points, right?
a cornered cat, right? That's
So-
the saying.
No.
So you guys are. He retreats over to where the injured people are, and he looks down at you, and he gives you like a little shake of his head, not in like disappointment or disapproval, but frustration, as he looks down at you. Do you return any look or response, or you just leave it be?
I'm an emotionless husk of a human.
You're not human, so that works. So you're literally an emotionless husk of a human, so that works. So you sit there and just kind of like ignore the response or just meet the gaze. It doesn't really matter. And he eventually walks off to go speak with the other of the guard underneath him, the witch hunters.
I
Underneath
collapse as soon as he's out of sight.
Yeah.
I just fall.
Is there an out of sight?
I try to catch you, but I'm not very strong, so we just kind of both nearly fall to the ground.
I appreciate the assistance.
You're still big and bulky. You're still a meaty boy.
So we can probably fit a short rest into this, right?
You can, but you don't heal during short rests. You heal during long rests.
Can we spend hit die during short rests?
During
or-
long rests.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh wait, hold
Well-
on. Actually, remember you're allowed to spend 1 hit die during a short rest and as many as you want during long rest. That's how it works.
Okay.
So you guys can't
Hey.
spend the hit die during a short rest.
Bastion, you're still standing.
Barely.
You want to see if there's any useful parts of that man we can use for potions?
Yeah, I suppose I could help take a look. I lift myself up off of Bran.
Brad appreciates it. And you go over and start like gutting this creature to see what you can find of value over there.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell would be inside of a fairy thing from a different dimension.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I climb into its mouth.
So you spend
Stay
while
warm.
while they're taking
Home sweet home.
while they're taking short rests. Are you just going to gut this creature instead of short rest there, Brad? Sorry, Bastion.
Suppose so?
Okay.
So a short rest is like what, half an hour, 20 minutes?
It's an hour.
It's an hour. It's a full hour.
Yes, correct.
And during it, we can do menial tasks. Yeah.
Correct. Though this isn't exactly
Cool.
menial.
No, but could I go and pick up my bolts from the?
Oh yeah.
Battlefield.
That's fine.
If you, how do I roll that? I can't remember.
It'd be investigation.
And I'm also gonna pick up. That's like snap off the metal spearhead
Yep.
and keep that.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So you go about searching for your equipment, and you're able to find. I think you had fired 4 bolts.
Yeah.
And one of them-
5. I think a standard crossbow bolt and.
So
Oh no, 4.
So I was gonna say half the bolts you find, and so you do find 2 of them, and then one of them is already tossed back to you, so you find that one no problem. So out of the 3 bolts that you have, do me a favor, roll me a 50-50. So roll me 3d20. It's odd to be safe.
3d20.
Yep, just roll 3d20. So 2 of them broke. One of them is good, so you'll have to have keep the heads and remake arrows. One of them's still good, and then you keep the head of your spear, as you were saying beforehand. Bastion, the creature, you were able to gut. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
You're actually able to gut 2,300 experience points worth of materials out of this thing.
Wait, was Leonard helping me, or was he just saying to do it, basically?
He was saying for you to do it.
Okay.
But you
You
can
do.
still split it evenly amongst you guys if you'd like. Or you can
Yeah,
give him
I'll-
1,000 and keep 13. It doesn't really
Yeah, I'll
matter.
bring it over and let him get we'll get the 300.
And if you could actually do me a favor, roll me, please, Dunce, a Arcana check, please.
Arcana.
Oh my god, our first magic weapon.
Huh. Okay. So, You know that the materials of this creature are actually really good for making certain types of components. So let me just click on to, where's his name, Leonard, and pull these things up for you really quickly so I can throw them in chat. So here's that one, and here's that one. So the components that they have here are really good at making. So your, where is it called? So your kiss potions that you make. So we'll say that using the materials from this creature, the next handful of kiss potions that you guys choose to make are actually going to last for 4 hours instead of 1. So you can kind of like make a notation of that. You can make up to 4 kiss potions last for 4 hours instead of 1.
Okay. Yeah, put them in.
And then also the next handful of white Raffords that you're going to do are going to do, instead of 2d4 plus 2, they're actually going to do 2d4 plus 5. So it's the same thing, next 4 of those that you make. And let me make sure there's nothing else here. Definitely not that one. Definitely not that one. Definitely not that one. And
You said the next 4 of those?
correct.
The next 2 of that. Okay, 4.
A 4 for both types. So those are the 2 things that are going to be enhanced. One is going to heal the healing, so it's a plus 5. The other one's going to last 4 hours instead of the 1 hour. So that's actually an enhancement to that because of the quality of materials you get off of this. But more than that, one of the things that you notice, Bastion, and again, some of the stuff is already discovered by Rick, and Rick's probably going to do his own experimentation shortly. You have a hard time cutting through this creature, even it's in death. Like, your steel weapons are dulled against its body trying to cut it. You use your silver weapons, and they have a hard time cutting through and trying to get the bits that are valuable. All right. So the hour ends. Does anybody use any anybody except for Bastion use any HD?
I use a hit die, yeah.
You're allowed to use 1. Remember. Cool. Don't forget to subtract it from
And
your
that brings me up to maximum health.
1.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Cool. So you guys are feeling a bit better. And of course,
No.
when you take a long rest, you'll be able to heal up a little bit overnight. Brad, you're fine. You have 15 health. You're good.
Does the medic heal me any?
Yeah. So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Leonardo. You actually healed max. So the medic, they would have made it so that when you rolled yours, you would have just taken max. So instead of 5, you actually healed 11. I'm so sorry.
Awesome.
That's actually, thank you for reminding me of that. So this is what the medic did for you. So the hour passes. You find all those bits. You save them up. You find some value of those bits there. Bastion and everybody else kind of rests up a bit, has a bite to eat. The medic works on you. And you meet with each other before you meet with the captain, or do you just meet with the captain?
Probably with each other a few minutes
Quite
before.
important.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you guys gather together. We'll say it's over back at that same house that Leonard was crafting his oils and whatnot in beforehand. You guys make over into that building where you.
And they're just
have-
letting us do this?
Yeah, nobody's stopping you from doing anything. I mean, clearly there's witch hunters that are watching after Bran the entire time, and there's glowers at Bran the entire time. And as some of the village folk filter in from beyond, because the fight is now over and the creature's been gutted and whatnot, and parts taken from it, which freak a lot of them out. They look at the Witchers like they look at Bastion like he's some sort of disgusting freak show, despite the fact that he was a hero a few moments ago. Some of them see him as the hero, some of them see him because of like the gutting of the creature as being the freak. But mostly, all of them are looking at Bran like, "Witch! Burn the witch! String it up! No, you must feed it to acid. It's the only way to permanently kill a witch. No, it must kiss toads. That removes the curse that keeps it alive." And they're saying all sorts of just ridiculous stuff.
Kiss
So
the
it's
toad,
like,
Brain.
if you kill a witch, it becomes a vampire. That's not true. But you guys make over to the building where you were before, and you can meet with one another.
Finally, some peace and quiet.
So, just to be sure, Bran, you never meant for any of this to happen. I'm hoping.
No, quite honestly, I love summoning giant monsters to torment this world.
Well, you are a
All times to be
witch.
sarcastic.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
I
that
never
right
asked
now.
for any of this, Tal. I never asked to be born in an elder sex party or whatever the fuck happened to create this.
Why
I
don't
never asked to be pissed off and summon a nether portal.
Why don't you start with the portal and explain to us from your point of view why we all almost died?
If I had an explanation for you, it wouldn't be magic, would it?
Don't you think you're riding him a bit too hard?
Well, he did kind of cause quite a few people to die. I mean, I know they were witch hunters, a lot of them, but still, I saw that guy from the pub out there dead by a cart. You know, innocent people. Like, it's probably quite important to establish that this won't happen again, or whether we should, no offense, Bran, but for the safety of everyone, including Bran, let them stick some dimaterium shackles on him.
How do you feel?
In all my years of this happening, such a creature has never appeared. I
So this
imagine it
happened
has something
often?
to do with the source that we encountered on the mountain and justly executed.
So,
Do you try-
If given time, I can peruse through his book of rituals to see if there's anything like this in it.
you're telling me this has happened before?
I'm telling you, it hasn't happened before. The portal
s-
has, the creature not.
What do you think he's gonna do? The captain.
Gonna try to put a bolt through me.
How do you think we should handle this?
Oh, Bran kind of looks at both Leonard and Bastion in a bit of a sorry state. The least I can do is fix you up a little bit, assuming you still trust me. He glares at Leonard for a little bit, which I
It doesn't-
imagine some of you might not.
It doesn't make any sense for you to just, after all this time with us traveling together, you pick now to attack it. Something's up, and I don't know what it is.
If I wanted you dead, I would have teamed up with the source on the mountain.
I'm sure. That's why I'm saying it doesn't make sense. But let's say it was all an accident. Let's say this everything happens and you didn't plan on any of it happening. What do you do now? How do you live with this constantly occurring?
You don't. It's a punishment. You're forced to sit through it day after day, trying to do good, but unintentionally doing evil all the same.
Were you born a source?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't really understand. I thought Bran was just a witch, like you know, packed with a demon sort of thing. What's the source?
Kind of like just a arcane being of sorts. No more human than me. Not
So-
quite in possession of or in control of their own abilities.
So, witches get their power from fornicating with demons. Bran gets his power from being a demon.
Have I slept with a demon?
Is that the trial of grasses?
I said Bran, not Bastion, didn't I?
He
You said
also said
Brett-
witches, not witchers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, which is.
I thought you said
Small difference there.
He was not
Uh.
espousing lore. He's playing ignorant, which is correct.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. That's a way to put it. Absolutely.
He sort of gives Bran a sideways glance.
Not very happy with being mentioned as a demon.
So, this captain, he's been following you for a while. What's your
Yes.
history with him?
Well, they heard reports. They came to check it out. They tried to pin all sorts of crimes on me. whether it be stealing from the locals or summoning giant armies to bring their demise. You know, the stuff they accuse sorcerers and witches of these days.
So what really happened then?
What really
did you
happened?
do?
Accidents like this.
We can expect more of these.
I would hope not, but I am afraid so. Usually, in all my life so far, none to this scale. If it makes you feel any better, the witch hunter that I took into the portal with me, he carried a charm on him. It has resistance to magic.
Resistance to magic?
While I was wearing it, out of curiosity, I noticed that my magical effects were somewhat weakened.
Really?
I might be able to find said charm.
You lost it.
I chucked it because it didn't seem very useful trying to kill the big creature that just came through a nether portal.
But if you have it on you, then you can't cast magic, right?
I can, but it will be diminished.
So if you have it on you, then accidents won't happen, right?
I don't know. I haven't walked around with this charm for a while yet.
How much time do we have?
It sounds like it's kind of that or Dimaterium shackles, mate.
You can see that the he's starting to make his way across the field again, heading towards that building where he intends to meet with you guys. You probably got like another couple minutes, and honestly, if you don't mind pissing him off a little by keeping him waiting, you probably get a couple minutes beyond that. So
yeah, I don't really,
because I understand kind of like where you're going with this. Don't forget that Leonard had with the building where he was, as I was describing before, it was like 9 o'clock. That's where you guys are. The building where you're going to be meeting with this guy was at the center of this this open area where the whole battle took place, which is, as I was saying before, it was 12 o'clock if you're looking from the top down. Bran came from around 6 o'clock-ish, so he can just go the opposite direction of the thing to go look for that if he cared to, but he'd have to move quick. I'm sorry, continue.
Looks like we don't have a lot of time. Bran, do you know exactly where it is?
I tried to chuck it in a memorable place.
What do you recall from the area you put it in? Like some kind of landmark?
It was next to a bucket.
It was in a bucket underneath an tavern, and you actually saw the sign for the tavern.
Yeah, so I tell him which tavern it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's expecting you. And if you're not
He's
there...
gonna raise the city if I'm not there.
Why don't you go, and I'll go fetch it. That way, just in case you need to use your magic again, you can, blah, blah, blah. While you're in the meeting with him. And I'll go grab it.
Random question, Scott. How many horses are there in this town?
I mean, less than there were before all this happened, but there's definitely horses in the town. It is a trading town, so they would have to be able to transport between here, because it's in the Haka Mountains, right? So to be able to transport between here and to the east and west. So,
yeah, okay.
Number, but that's also going to be by the city gates, not where you currently are. Also, the plan's actually a pretty sound plan, because two of them going with him makes sense. They were defending him. Messi's character was kind of the one that was like, fuck off in the first place.
I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just trying to keep an escape plan open.
Of course.
I will say,
I was giving a thumbs up.
As much as I hate to revert back to this conversation, the healing might be a good idea.
I did propose it earlier.
In case they do try something.
I mean, there's no point in healing the wounds.
I will cast. I will double cast level 1 cure wounds then, for 1 sorcery point.
Twin cast it?
Yeah, twin cast it. First one's going to be Leonard. Second one's going to be Bastion.
All right.
Oh,
Leonard,
yeah. Are you sure you don't want Bastion to get...
No, I already called it. Leonard gets his 8.
I think the idea is that you call them before you roll.
Yeah.
That's why I do it that way.
Okay.
So Bastion's at a whopping 6 health.
The higher one is Bastion's, the lower one is Leonard.
I still can't believe I rolled exactly 32 damage and you're exactly 32
that was...
That was so scary.
Oh, I did 15, 15, and then you saw the open roll of the 2, so I mean, like,
Oh,
holy crap. But go ahead.
All right, so you heal us, and then I go the opposite direction. You guys start going towards the captain. And I'm looking for a key in a bucket underneath the specific tavern that I know the name of.
Correct. Yeah. The tavern's name doesn't matter, but you know how to find it. So
Okay.
I'm actually, it's funny because I'm not even going to make you roll. Because you have such a high passive that you just make
I'm
your
a
way
fucking
there.
detective, yeah.
So the 3 of you make your way to the meeting. Do you drag your feet to keep them waiting a little bit, or are you trying to be like punctual?
Don't keep him waiting.
Yeah, I
I'm
wouldn't
down my
really,
way out.
I
I'm
don't really
likely
see any
just
reason to
taking-
walk slowly, but
Taking everyone else's lead.
did Stefan walk in there like fully armed? Like we saw him walk across the
Oh, I should revert my strength.
sort of open area.
Oh, yeah.
Was
yeah,
he
you should
like
revert to strength.
14.
to the teeth?
14.
I mean, he's probably got like witch hunters set up all over the place already, as
Yeah,
like
I
an
don't
ambush.
imagine I don't imagine they'd be unarmed.
So
They can be dying and still ambush.
So you guys are making your way, as you were saying, across to go meet with the guy, right? And there are still a good number of witch hunters about. Most of them are fairly injured, have some sort of bandage on them, maybe like a crutch that they're using, but they're still standing guard and keeping an eye. Like, these are witch hunters; they're used to getting messed up. They're not obviously as sturdy as you guys are. They're just people, but they're people that are have more than just constitution. They have more than just fortitude to them. They also have a cause, an ideal that they stand behind, and purging the world of evils gives them that extra oomph to keep pushing on when others would probably sit down and rest.
Permanently being under the effect of a coffee.
Yes, of a coffee. So so you guys make your way across the field to go meet with him, and it's one of those things where you don't keep him waiting, but it's not like you rushed over there either. So as he had probably was in there for a couple minutes waiting, and then he just comes over because it's the big hole in the wall, to stand in that hole and look about to see, like, are they coming? And he looks and he sees you guys are already more than halfway across the field heading to them. So it's like, oh, okay, there they are. So you can tell, like, he's
Scott.
not annoyed or anything. Yes, sir.
Can I DM you a quick thing?
Please go ahead. Is this?
I want to hold an action.
What's the chat? Which method of communication out of our 16?
Discord.
Thank you. All right, so you guys go over to meet with him, and as he sees you guys coming, he gives the nod to notice that you're coming. But then as you get closer and closer, he gives that like look at Bran, like, okay, here comes that fucker, and he's looking at Bran as you guys are approaching. And so when you get there, okay, cool, thanks. And so as you make your way over there, he welcomes you into the room with the big hole in the wall, so it's easy to come into. And he gestures at a couple of chairs that are set around the table. The rubble has not been cleaned from the floor, so you have to kind of like navigate around it, moving your chair out. He says, "Have a seat. We need to talk."
I'm gonna be the first to sit down.
Yeah, I'll have a seat, sure.
I will stand for a moment and then begrudgingly sit down
Okay.
without saying anything.
I'll make sure I'm sitting between Bran and Stefan.
Yeah, no, that's fine. He's actually going to sit like across the table.
Okay.
But as he sits down, he looks over towards one of the other soldiers and gives them a nod. And the soldier comes over to next to where Bran is. We could say it's between where you guys are sitting, between Bran and Tal. So he comes over, and he's clearly got a specialized pair of handcuffs that he intends to put on. Bran.
I'm gonna stand up when I see him.
Stefan looks to you while sitting, like taking a seat himself, and says, so as he takes a seat himself, he says, "Is there a problem?"
I don't think that's a good idea. Not until we've had our discussion.
We were here to talk, not take me in captivity.
Didn't say I'm taking you in captivity. I'm willing to talk, but I need to know that things aren't going to get explosive.
They won't, and I can assure you that.
Can you?
You
I
have
can.
us outnumbered in your little hidey hole. You've had an hour to set up an ambush, and yet you still distrust us. when we display the good faith to literally walk into the wolf's den here.
He looks
the lion's
he
den.
looks to Tal and says, "I trust him. He's a good, brave man." He looks to what's his name, Bastion, and says, "I trust what he stands for. I trust his cause and his dedication to it." Then he looks you full-fledged on and says, "But witches cause havoc. They cause mayhem. They summon creatures from other planes that slaughter innocents. Whether or not they
And yet the witch hunters have a fabulous track record of burning whole villages in their wake as well. So forgive me for not trusting you at your word."
We burn down villages to hunt your kind, to bring them to an extinction. Now, I'm here to have a conversation, but I don't think that we want things to go awry. You can see like a couple of his men are starting to get antsy, and he like looks to them like to settle down, and they do almost immediately. Then he looks back at you and says, "They're cuffs to control your magic, not to bring you into custody. Not unless talks go that way."
How about if you, and he looks to Bran, give me the key?
He kind of like weighs the option in his head for a couple seconds. You know, why don't you, because your delivery was everything, why don't you roll for me your persuasion saying that?
In the meantime, can I be like, never mind.
So he says,
Never mind.
he like weighs the option for a couple of moments, and then he's like, "I'll leave it on the table between us."
You think that's all right, Bran?
I give you a look of stern disapproval.
Is
I'm
there
gonna
an
stay standing pretty much at Bran's side as they put the cuffs on and such.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of giving him a look.
When they put the cuffs on you, Bran, you can feel the magic, everything that makes you unique, everything that has brought you all the troubles in the world, but at the same time has given you all the glories that you've had and kept you alive and so
All
on.
that gold.
All that gold, all that stuff is just immediately cut off from you. You can feel it in the back of your head, almost like an itch that you just can't scratch. Like, oh, motherfucker. And no matter how many times you try to rub your back against the post, you can't get that itch. It just gets worse. You can feel it right there, kind of like boring into you, but you can't reach it. And so that's immediately what happens as soon as this thing clips off. And so once the cuffs are there and things are settled, he'll look over to Bastion and say, "We're not going to kill him, at least not right now. You can sit. We'll talk."
Okay, and I take my seat. But I'm still keeping an eye on any that are near Bran, basically.
Will the cat be joining us, or is it prowling about?
I mean, he's a cat. He comes and goes as he wants.
The joke isn't lost on him, but he doesn't laugh. And so he says, "Fine, then I'll speak to you lot, and I imagine you can spread the word to the cat."
It's the point where he offers us like a shit ton of gold.
"We have a task set before us, to cleanse the world of all," and he looks at Bran, "evil. But we understand that this task is not one that's easily done. For us to fully accomplish it, we're going to need the aid of such creatures like yourselves." He does not look at all the direction of Tal when he says this. "Creatures such as yourselves, you'll be able to assist us in bringing about the end of these things. So we're looking for your aid, and in return, we offer you much reward. First and foremost, you will never be hunted. If you're looking to aid us during our cause, to the extents that we agree upon, and forever after, we will never hunt you unless you give us a reason to. I'm sure that won't take long for some of you, and others might settle themselves into comfortable places for the rest of their lives. But then there will be coin. Radovid came out of the war with a decent amount of coin in its vaults still.
Redania.
Redania, sorry. Radovid. Radovid's the king. So he says, Radovid came out of the war with a decent amount of coin in his vaults. in his coffers, and he's willing to pay well. Our chief target right now is the Scoia'tael. They have been a thorn in the side for decades, and we need to finally bring them to their knees. We need those that are willing to infiltrate and bring them to their final ruin. And at this point in time, as he's kind of like saying final ruin, you heard that last like 2 sentences or so as you were approaching Messy. You had found the amulets that I described last session in the bucket. You pick it up. You know, it was some amount of liquid inside the bucket, but you think it's just water. It's not a big deal. And you
It's just really smelly water.
Smell your hand.
it's water. You make your way back to the to where it is they're meeting, and as I said, as he finishes that sentence, you can come walking in. Unless you
Can I well, on the way, retcon a little bit? Can I do like a like a science experiment real quick? Does the amulet do anything with the?
Good call. Yeah. So actually, my apologies. As you're even trying to look for the amulet, thank you. As you're even looking for the amulet, I'm trying to approach it. Like, okay, I see. That looks like a sign. As you're getting close to the sign, you probably reach out and grab your amulet to feel, and you actually feel it vibrating. And then when you reach down, and you pick up the thing, and you like hold it close. It vibrates like violently in your hands. Clearly, it's a magical charm.
Okay, just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And
An
so,
anti-magical magical charm.
Mm-hmm. And so you make your way back to them. You come walking into the meeting, correct?
Yep.
So he finishes his sentence as you walk in. Do you say anything, or do you keep listening?
Yeah, I'll say something.
So go ahead.
Oh, hey, sorry I'm late. How's and I'm gonna look around and I'm gonna see like the kind of like disappointed, fearful looks of my companions, and the stern look of him, and I'll be like, "It's going well. So you got shackles on."
Do you blame me?
No, no, I don't. That's actually kind of why. Well, don't worry about it.
He gestures for a seat.
Yeah,
Take
sure.
a seat.
Take a seat.
So you go take your seat, and he says, "We're talking about the Scoia'tael. I know you're familiar with them."
Interesting. So the thing about that is that that's nothing to do with what I want to talk about. So Bran, did you know that was a complete accident? I thought he did all this stuff intentionally, but apparently it was all out of his control. You know how sources can
You
be.
can tell him whatever you want, even if you wholeheartedly believe it, which I doubt you do. He's already made up his mind.
I think it's all
Ignorant.
just a big misunderstanding. I think I might have misinformed you at the beginning.
There's
I
no
just wanna apologize.
misunderstanding. Witch hunters are disgusting. Horrible people.
I'm
Bastion.
looking
I
to
start
make-
smirking at that.
I'm looking to
Simmer
make a
down
deal
now,
with you,
Bastion.
and the deal is to offer you all amnesty, for now and forever, to not be hunted by the crown, to not have.
As long as we're indentured servants.
I've already told you this. I understand you're a little slow in the uptake there, Bastion. While you do the work, and afterwards as well. We'll agree upon the tasks, and then when you're done with them, we will continue to not hunt you.
So it's been going this well, huh?
What is your opinion on this, Bran?
Oh, are you seriously asking for my opinion on whether we should work for the people who use evil to try to cleanse evil? He does with air quotes in his like shackles, like evil. And in return, we'll have his word that we won't be hunted, yet we are the very thing he aims to cleanse. Please.
To be
Bastion,
fair-
I thought higher of you.
To be fair, like it does kind of look like evil if you look at the aftermath in the town.
But
Yeah.
you also saw that he very clearly attempted to help. He did no harm afterwards. He did his best to help us take that creature down, and it ended up working.
Perhaps it wasn't an accident. Perhaps
Here's-
it was intentional to allow himself to look like a hero.
Well,
Then
he
why
certainly
would he
didn't pull that
allow
one off.
Tal to get the final blow? Wouldn't a hero want to get the final blow? That's usually how that.
It didn't say he
Yeah.
was particularly competent.
So I think we can all agree that both sides have done some damage, and that we've all done something that the other thinks was wrong, right?
We're of course looking to move past this. I don't understand why we're continuing this conversation. I have a task for you. Are you willing to accept the job? We're trying
So-
to end the Scoia'tael once and for all.
I've
They're thieves. They're murderers. There's sources amongst them. They breed with the monsters of the lands. They breed the necrophages to continue plaguing the area so they can get a foothold. They are a blight on all that is good and kind. We need to end the Scoia'tael once and for all.
You're
Are
trying
you
to
willing
hire.
to help me?
You're trying to hire 2 witchers as source. And this beefcake over here, this big beefcake,
he smiles at you.
to wipe out an entire village, a sect, a population.
I imagine you would not be too happy with going in and slaughtering them all yourself. I also imagine that you wouldn't be successful in doing it all. Despite the might of the 4 of you, just the 4 of you doing it, that would be ridiculous. However, they are inclined to trust you, which means that you can get from me crucial information that can be used to bring them to their final end.
And what are you offering in terms of coin? Because I don't need amnesty.
You're right, you don't. For you, instead, you would be able to gain a title and some land.
Maybe I would need a last name.
What about me, though? I don't really care for the amnesty all that much. Don't think
Land,
it'd be that hard to kill you.
land, but nowhere near population, because we don't need you being in the sight of goodly folk.
So-
Land, of course, and much coin for you to spend as you see fit.
So you're offering coin, a future, amnesty, and all you want us to do is get the information for you.
It's more than just get information, it's getting crucial information for me, and making sure that we see this to the end. That could possibly mean raising your sword if the time comes in the future, but it doesn't mean single-handedly facing them by yourself. I'm not sending you on a fool's errands to die.
Huh.
Bran?
Well, I would say this is an interesting proposition that has got all of our interests interested.
Huh.
I do believe this is the best fucking route we could take, Bran.
Would you allow us to discuss this in private for a moment?
I completely understand that you would need to converse a little bit about it. As long as we can all agree that the source needs to stay in his cuffs, I'm willing to give you your privacy for now.
Yes, we'll keep them on for now.
This is the witch. This is the source. This is the witch. But either way, in which case, then he nods to the men for them to for them to leave the room. 2 of them actually, because there's an open wall, they keep a fair distance away, far enough that you know that without extremely keen ears and intensely listening, would they be able to hear much at all. But with knocked and drawn crossbow bolts to make sure that in case they need to, they could fire into the room. Just 2 of them. And he himself, after they kind of like position themselves away, he himself will push the chair back, stand up, give a nod, and turn and walk out of the room. He goes over to another group of people, where he's clearly getting like a report, giving orders, doing stuff. You guys have
They
several
leave the
minutes.
key on the table.
Actually, he does. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that.
So I think we should start by asking Bran, what do you think we should do here?
I want to get these torture coughs off of me right now, preferably. But they'll kill me when I do, so I won't.
Listen,
So,
we're taking this deal, right?
I'd rather die at his sword.
well, I'm just saying, Bran, come on, use the old head. You can take the deal, go to the Scoia'tael, tell the Scoia'tael, and never come back. Yeah,
Yes, and
obviously.
they'll believe us why.
Oh, I mean, you're not going to be in Redanian lands if you join the Scoia'tael. So you're on the run from witch hunters, and then just don't keep up your end of the bargain. Yeah, you're going to be hunted down by witch hunters, but same difference for you, right?
Just another day in paradise.
Well,
So you agree that's the best route.
So
The only thing on my mind is how we make it tomorrow morning in this town, because the Lord is supposed to send us a large sum of money. Which it might be better if you go to collect that, Leonard.
Yeah, I could do that. Bastion, what do you think?
Hmm. So what you're suggesting is that we accept the deal, but not actually accept the deal?
Well, as
I'm
Witchers,
suggesting that we accept the deal, and that Bran can betray us at a later date.
Hmm.
as Witchers, we are bound by contract to take. If we take the gold, then we got to do the task.
They are asking you to kill monsters. Not sure that Scoia'tael are monsters. I mean, I've seen some real vicious elves in my day, but
You
If
should
we-
take their word for them being evil with a bit of a pitcher of
Still think
salt.
that-
Preferably an entire tavern's full.
I think we should stand by Bran as. I
Look
mean,
on
he's
us-
helped us along the way.
Look, the
He got us
Scoia'tael.
out of prison.
The Scoia'tael are no more better than the Witch Hunters. Okay, I feel like we're doing the world a service by getting rid of both of them. So let's slowly.
Don't they have children, families?
I'm sure we did too before we were taken.
So do these witch hunters. Doesn't make them any better people.
I agree. No one here is in the right. We just got to do what we have to. And this is really the only deal we can take. It's that or we don't make it out of this town.
I don't really want to hunt down Scoia'tael. I had a friend who was a dwarf, and he was a nice guy,
Well,
actually.
okay. All right. Well, we take the money to go deliver the information, the crucial information, right?
He
What if at the
probably
same
won't-
time
probably
we
won't
tell
pay us
we
first.
tell the Scoia'tael about the same crucial information? Balance the
Tell them
side.
exactly what information we give.
Exactly
Witch
what we
hunters.
give the witch hunters.
That way they
And
know
set
what
up an ambush.
We did our job.
we
we
did
get
do
paid.
our job. Okay,
Okay.
is everyone in agreement?
Team
Just
on three.
saying- I'm just saying, even if we get this amount of Scoia'tael to kill the witch hunters,
Or vice versa, either way. It's going to be a
This-
lot of bloodshed.
there's still more witch hunters out there.
There's probably going to be for a long time. The amnesty would be very helpful.
I do.
You
want
actually
to fight.
trust them to give you the clemency?
If we get a written contract,
Written contract doesn't mean dick to people who burn down villages because they please it.
At the very least, this gets us out of the situation currently, and we don't have to fight off all of them.
We could go to some alliances and start another war. Kings
Yeah.
will
I think
always.
it would be smart of us to try and gather some alliances, actually.
Bran looks around for a bit at the probably injured guards that are in the room. You know, I could probably take a couple of them out with the burning hands as soon as these shackles come off.
I mean,
Brent, you are not winning me over right now. I just want to say.
I don't know how long I would last.
we're trying to talk them out of the fact that you're a murderous monster.
You're trying to side with murderous monsters as well.
Well, either way, I've got to side with one, haven't I?
It's die or live, Bran.
It might be for you. For me, it's choose one of so many evils that will still try to kill me at the end of the day.
I don't know whether you've noticed, Bran, but we're trying to help you here. I literally stood in front of a crossbow for you. We're trying to have your back because you helped us, all right? But it's not easy.
Yeah, I know. I've Really, I've realized that all my life. It's not easy.
Brent, do you know of a thing called genies? Rumor has it they can grant any wish.
But at a terrible price.
Oh, I don't think they're demons, are they? Otherwise, they'd be called demons.
They're genies.
You've seen the state of this world. What reason would they have to give out free kindness?
Same
Maybe-
reason that you create portals. Don't got no choice.
I'm saying maybe the price you pay for the genie is part of the reward. I'm saying maybe you wish yourself to normal.
And maybe, in doing so, I unleash an even greater evil on the world. I'd rather keep it somewhere where I can at least attempt to control it. Thank you.
I mean, you're doing a real good job of that one.
Stop.
You get a deadly glare. No words.
So, Bran, die now or die later?
Fine. We'll die later.
Very
At
well.
least your mates get to live in prosperity, eh?
Tell
So
us.
we are all in agreement now. Any
I believe the agreement is do the task, but make the battle even, right?
We can take the deal and think about it more. I mean, I should imagine
That's
we'll have
true.
a fair few days' travel.
Well, I just want to say, if this is the plot. This is the plan. This is the plan that we agree on now. So if there are changes later that we all agree on, yes. But if we don't, this is what it is. We take the deal and we balance the sides.
Preferably tip it against these, but yes.
Everyone in agreement?
I guess so.
Very well.
sounds good.
I'd raise my hands in agreement, but it's very uncomfortable right now.
I'm gonna motion.
Not to mention the
Nerds.
eternal itch and torture that these chains inflict on me.
Gods, you can bring your captain back.
So, give a wave, and he's like, ah. About a minute and a half later, he finishes his conversation and makes his way back over. A couple of others come in as well. They go into the same exact positions they were before, relatively the same positions they were before. And he goes over, and instead of sitting this time, he stands behind the chair you're sitting before and places his hands on it and says, "So,
A Witcher contract is very specific. I need to know exactly what you're paying us for.
understood. We know the whereabouts of a Scoia'tael camp. We don't think it's their main camp. We think it's an offshoot. We're going to give you the whereabouts of that camp. You're going to go in, you'll infiltrate, you'll gain their trust, and then you'll make your way to the main camp where you can start feeding us information so we can appropriately plan our ambushes and the like, and we can finally bleed them down into their last. We can destroy them in their entirety. Rid the world of the evil that they cause and all the horrors that they do. In exchange, you'll be paid handsomely. I will check. I'll get the exact coin amount for you before we come to this full agreement, before you leave in the morning. But you will need to do this task for us. As I said, you don't necessarily need to raise your sword against the Scoia'tael, not unless a final battle comes to blows and you are there with us in the battle. Then you will join us as brothers in arms to finish this once and for all. You do not need to slay them in their sleep or hunt them down like the dogs that they are. You can infiltrate and feed information.
So you're paying us to find the location of the man camp and tell you the best way to ambush it. And if there is a final battle that we are present for, or a big battle that we are present for, we have to join your side. Yes?
Correct, but it goes beyond that. As I was saying, the other camps as well. Any information you get of them, Their
Cool.
whereabouts, their leaders, their weaknesses, their strengths, any information that will aid us in our task.
Very well. I think we can work with.
Everybody agrees to our terms,
Yes, we all do.
and then to your terms. He nods to someone who actually will pull out a writ scroll, and pulls out like a little scroll case, and hands it to him. He holds it and says, "And this is how much we'd be offering in exchange for your services." Now, mind you, when this offer was made, the offer was drafted with the understanding that there were 2 witchers in the area. There are currently 2 more that are traveling with you, and so that will change what this says, and I do not have that final number as of right now. And he places it down and slides it across the table for you to open the scroll case and look inside.
I'll do it.
You pop it open, look inside, and it does offer, it's again very long form, but it offers amnesty, so no witch hunters will ever hunt you down unless you actively commit a crime or an atrocity against the innocence of
Redania.
Redania, thank you. Against the innocents and civilians of Redania, against its army, and so on and so forth. And they're offering, this is for you and Bastion to share, they're offering 150,000 gold pieces for each of you to share, which is like an insane amount of money.
That's
It's like,
fucking crazy.
yeah, it's an insane amount of money for you guys to retire and live very wealthy on, assuming you're successful in your
And assuming they would ever pay you that money.
well, that's Brand's opinion, but
Yeah.
they understand the way Witcher contracts work, and they also understand, backstabbing and whatnot as well. So they were offering this ridiculous amount of money for you to successfully take down the Scoia'tael, which you can imagine the Scoia'tael has been such a thorn in their side for so long that it is worth them this coin to fully take them down. To have spies on the inside that can bring this to happen. They know of the relationship that the Scoia'tael have had with another particular Witcher in the past, so it's important to them. So, anyways, moving on. They this is the offer. He says after you're done reading it and you can kind of like see that number, you actually have to roll me a deception to not like.
Is that just Leonard? Or?
It's Leonard that's reading it first before he.
Okay.
I imagine it takes you a long time to read, so he might just like point out the number for you. So it is a large sum, and
Yeah.
so obviously you're like, holy crap.
I'll see it and I'll be like, holy shit.
Do you point it out to Bastion?
Yeah, I'll slide it over to Bastion so he can read it himself.
Do I roll deception?
Do you care to?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
One more thing, if you don't mind. Oh, did I note that there was like any kind of royal signature or anything on the
There was,
paper?
of course. It seems
Okay.
100% legitimate.
Okay.
Bastion plays it a bit cooler.
It's because I'm too caught up on the land they offered. I'm like, I don't care about that.
Yeah, this money is great. No, but have you seen this painting of me?
Oh, we gotta go get that. Yeah. So, last thing, I know it might be a bit difficult to write this in last second. So I will accept the verbal contract, but you must keep our identities secret. I can't have my reputation ruined as being some kind of Scatoili traitor. I have work that I need to do. Castoili.
He looks about his men in the room and looks down at you and says, "Understood. Your name will be kept clear. Doing otherwise would actually harm our cause." He does look to Bran though and says, "However, your reputation has already been spread as wide as we could, and so it's known well enough what you are."
Yes, I've written you lovely letters as well in the taverns in late nights. Don't worry.
It's fine as long as the amnesty still covers his real name. I'm assuming the amnesty would cover us even though our identities are secret.
You will be known to the crown.
Very well.
Or he says
What
you
do I
are
sign?
known to the crown. My apologies.
Where do I sign?
Right at the bottom of the parchment. You're welcome to do so.
All right, I'll do it. I'll sign my name.
Bastion does as well.
What sort of title and lands are we talking?
As I said to you beforehand, I have to get the finer details for you at a later date. I do not have that right now, because you are an addition that wasn't previously planned for. But
And
that
say-
doesn't mean that you will get screwed in this deal.
And say that we completed the task as well as we were able, but everything didn't go quite to plan. A couple of their camps survived, you lost a major battle. What would happen with our pay then?
Are they scrambled? Are they destroyed as they are known right now? Or are they just as strong, if not stronger, than they were beforehand?
I doubt anyone could survive an ambush from witch hunters. And if they did, they definitely wouldn't be up to snuff with the previous selves.
We're not going to hold out until the last squeal-tailed dog has been laid to rest before we give you your pay. We're going to hold out until we know that their camps are destroyed, or at least the predominant ones, and that they are much more easily ferreted out and destroyed at that point. I know that they are squirrely. They have a way of hiding quite well.
And how would you prove that they're all gone? Where would that proof lie?
Again, we're not waiting till they're all dead. We're just waiting until they're broken up.
So enough that you think you can defeat them.
Correct. But don't worry, you're not going to be completely ignorant. We're going to have a two-way communication for this to work, won't we?
Yeah, be really useful if we could use magic for that, huh?
It would, wouldn't it? And then he'll nod to the same person that grabbed the scroll case before, and they'll actually produce a very specialized lockbox, locked up case or whatever. Instantly, two of you know what it is. The two Witchers know what it is. The other two have no effing clue. You know exactly what this case is. This is the kind of case that's used to house a megascope.
Shit.
Megascope. Yeah, megascope. So and so it's handed over. It's a
Big
place.
spyglass.
Yeah, it's almost like a telescope that's used by witches. It's by sorcerers. So it's placed on the table, and he says, "I found out a bit ago that you had a source with you, that you specifically had Bran with you, and I had this feeling that you were going to be keeping him along. I didn't expect." And he looks at the big hole in the wall and the chaos beyond it. This to happen before our meeting. But I did expect that you had some relationship formed. You can use this to communicate. There is someone on the other ends that can be spoken to. And he looks to Brad and he says, I imagine you don't know how to use it.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Learn carefully or it will blow up. Though, on second thought, make a mistake or two. Might save me trouble in the future.
Fucking hell, how are we going to hide that from a bunch of pointy-eared bastards?
They like this sort of thing, don't they?
That was surprisingly racist for you. I'm sorry. Taken aback by your new change of character.
Hey, nothing wrong with calling a knife ear, all right?
Exactly.
I didn't set the character.
Yeah, I got it. What are we doing? I'm sorry. How are we going to carry it? Right.
Or more to the point, hide it.
That's your
I mean,
problem.
like, how big are we talking box here?
So you know what a telescope looks like in real life, right? And so you've seen like a disassembled telescope and the kind of like the case that it goes into. About
Like,
that
it's,
size.
it's about the size of like one of those rotary telephones, a little bit bigger.
So and you use it to you kind of set it up. It actually can be used, but it's used to align up your magics, and technically speaking, you can use it to teleport if you get good enough with it. But
You need
That's-
some extra crystal bits and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
like that.
There's a lot more involved. But just communication is actually not the most complex of things. You still need to gain proficiency with it, which requires time.
You can remotely view people.
You can do all sorts of things with it. It's actually a very, very powerful item, because magic works different in the Witcher world than regular D&D. So it opens like scrying, and it's like what's that spell called? Sending, and it's teleportation, and all sorts of other stuff when you have this as a base, and the things that get added on top of it. Go ahead.
I mean, we're witchers. That's a part of the job. We'll figure out what to do with it.
Good. We're in agreement. I'll find out the exact title, the size of the lands that you'd get, your funds as well. But you will not get screwed over. A man is setting out to do the task of an honorable person.
All right, he's still standing up, right? Like behind the chair.
Yep.
I'm gonna stand up, clap him on the shoulder type thing.
Mhm.
Say, I look forward to receiving my land.
He nods. He's then going to leave the room, and many of the others that were in there with him leave the room as well.
All right, I'm gonna grab the key and start helping my boy out, helping Bran out.
Once you release the cuffs from him, the remaining 2 soldiers that are in there will take the cuffs and the key, and they will follow you out as well. There's a call from across the way, from him, and to those 2 soldiers. They hey, leave those with the cat, in case the source gets out of hands. And he calls in past them, even though he's kind of out of sight for you guys. Can you hear me, cat?
What? Yes.
If he gets out of hand, I'd like to deal with this one personally, myself. Put him in those cuffs and deliver him to me. The reward will be sweet for that, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 2 of them, one of them turns back and places the cuffs and the key back on the table, and they walk out.
Man, what a bastard.
I certainly feel a lot better now that that asshole's out of the room. And the fact that my soul isn't being scratched at every moment.
I apologize that you had to go through that.
I quite like a good scratch.
Speaking of that, and I'll pull out the thing I found, and I'll be like, is this it?
Yes.
Bastion, you can feel, as he pulls it out from where it was, you can feel your medallion vibrating.
Ooh.
I'll let you hold on to a brand, because, that was the whole point of getting it.
I
All right.
pocket it silently.
So the handcuffs, are they made out of a material that is easily breakable?
I mean, it's not that it's super difficult to break. You could shatter it with a hammer, like a big metal hammer and stuff like that. But it's not like magic can be used to pierce through or anything like that, because it's naturally resistant to magic. But I mean, if you had,
Like an anvil and a hammer.
exactly, anvil and a hammer, you can break it. Now it's chains that actually sorry, not chains. It's you can break the part that holds the hands together. That might release the hands so they're separated, but it's still that magic dulling nature. So even if the hands are separated,
Well, I mean,
around.
if no one's wearing them, assuming no one's wearing them, you just set them down and then you just smash it.
Oh,
Try to shatter it.
yeah, you could theoretically break them. But once again, anvil and hammer, it's not it's something you can just hit it with your boot.
We'll use a rock or something.
You'd be really hard pressed, but I'm sure with enough effort and enough time and enough bleeding, you'd be able to
Okay.
succeed.
So before he smashes it, I'll just put him in my bag.
Well, I'm not saying I'm gonna smash it right now. I'm just
Okay. Yeah, I'm just
They're
gonna put
rather rare. They're actually rather rare.
Good.
And expensive.
Not that I
so
don't find them useful, but I just don't think we should leave them out on the table as a nature
Yeah.
of goodwill. We should probably
Well,
take.
They could be useful if we run into another nasty source like that guy on the mountain.
It's true. I guess ready to leave. I'm getting a little antsy standing around.
I think that's a good.
No,
idea.
in fact, we should ask them back in. I'd rather enjoy their hospitality a bit more. No, let's get the fuck out of here.
You really want?
Right.
Hey,
No, Passion, stop.
One of them calls back and says, yeah.
nothing. Sorry.
Do you have any horses?
I'll talk to him about horses for you, but if you actually come with me this way, we found a spot for you to spend the night. A bit of a few beds in there for you. So come follow me this way, and we'll get you them directions for the morning.
That's so kind. What is your name, sir?
Neil.
That's. I like asking Daelric for names. He just makes up stupid shit. My name's Peanut Butter.
Yeah, stupid shit like Neil.
I mean, honestly, it's spelled correctly. It's Neil. So.
Oh,
okay,
that's cool then.
yeah,
Not my
that's
name.
fine. Okay. Yes, we'll follow Neil to the beds, I guess.
So and he removes his pants now. So he leads you over there. It's like, all right, well, here you are. There's the 3 beds so you can sleep comfortably. I'm sure your dog can sleep on the floor. And he makes his way out of the room.
Oh, sorry, Telebus.
Before he left, I called him quite strapping. I said, "You're quite strapping," as he walked by. Just
He
A game of Gwent. Do you play it?
he stops and he's like, "Oh, you're not bad yourself, there, sir.
Oh,
What you doing later?"
I'm probably sleeping in here unless you have another room I can borrow.
He'll be like, "I'll see you at the tavern," and leaves the room, shutting the door behind him.
All right, I turn around, see the look on my friend's faces. I'm like, "What?
Bastion.
Did you see him?"
Bastion, how are we gonna get your painting out of here? By the way, you thought about that?
It's not done yet.
We could go back.
We gotta leave soon.
I wonder
Yes.
if I could convince her and him. Ooh.
So there are 3 beds in here. Obviously, one was not left for poor Bran, but you guys can make yourselves your own comfortable rest or whatever. So just
No, Brand can use my bed since I'm gonna be at the tavern.
that's fair enough.
He's going clubbing.
Yeah.
So
Wait, I need to look at the long
Town
rest.
needs a drink
ju-
too.
just to button this off well enough, why don't we roll some for those of you that actually have some HD? Why don't you roll your HD for your overnight rest, because you are going to get a long rest here.
Right.
Oh, Leonard!
Hell yeah.
How much do my HD go up by overnight?
1. So expend as many as you want overnight, but then the end of the night you regain 1.
I don't need any. I used 1 and healed full. That's the bonus of having 17 HP max.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Before Bastion goes off, I will use a 2nd level cure wounds on him.
Oh,
Because he can't go clubbing while looking like that.
You need to do it on afterwards to cure him.
Well,
for
I've
what
still
he's
got hit dice. So.
Let's see, you used 1 during your short rest, and I believe you just rolled 1 right now, or didn't you, Bastion?
I
So
didn't
yeah, you
use
did.
one during the short rest.
Oh, you
I had
didn't?
short rest.
Ah, so you have 2 left, so go ahead.
I
you
have
can-
2 left.
And then you also heal
Uh,
8 more from him, so you heal
8.
17.
can he get the
Oh.
long if he's going
So
clubbing?
you're
though?
23. Do you want to use another another one of your HD there, Bastion?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god, you got fucked up with that one bite.
It was a lot of damage.
Roll
Plus
up that.
the being
Well, we got the
slammed into
flex
a
seal
wall.
for you, so don't worry about
It's
it.
still not showing me. It's taken like forever. I think I'm gonna need to refresh.
No, it's just roll 20 lags a lot on certain
Oh.
days. So you heal 4 more, go right ahead.
All right, 4 more.
Leonard, you used what, 2 HD in total, I think?
I used 1 during the short rest and 1 just now.
Cool. And that puts you at how much health?
One. Well, I guess I'm gonna have
Max.
2 left. After.
Max HP. But I get 1 back from the sleep.
And how much health does this leave you at, Bastion?
33.
33?
Yep.
Out of?
Out of
33.
39.
Oh, sweet. So
Oh, what?
so you're out of HD, so you're gonna wake up tomorrow with 2 HD left and 33 out of 39 health. Leonard, you only spent 2, so you gained 2 overnight, so you actually wake up max tomorrow.
I can't
Sa-
believe yeah.
Same thing with Tal, you spent 1 and you're at max, so you wake up max tomorrow. And Bran, how many HD did you spend? 3?
I went down to. I spent 2 in total.
Yep.
1 like during
The short
something. Yeah.
and 1 right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a 3 out of 4 HD in max health right now.
Okay.
Cool. So good for you there. Awesome. So we have 2 max, 1 max almost, and 1 poor Bastion. Bastion goes to have his evening of fun and the like. And before we worry about what happens in the morning and all that, we'll save that for the next session. And we'll
Do
call
we
this
ever
one.
get money from the Lord or not? That's the question. It's been 2 fucking sessions now. Come on.
You're gonna walk in there. You're gonna walk in there,
He's
and
dead.
there's gonna be blood splattered on the walls. And Stefan's gonna be
Oh,
there.
fuck.
Gonna be like, "We dealt with the conspirator."
Wait,
It was the next day you're supposed to get money from him. So
wait. Do we still have the egg?
you do.
Yeah.
Where
So
are
we
we
technically didn't lie.
I believe that was that egg. Who was the egg that was kept with you guys? It was Bastion's egg, wasn't it?
Was it me or Bastion?
I
pals.
plumped my egg down on the
Oh, that's right.
table, which Leonard promptly hid.
That's
I
right.
didn't,
okay,
I didn't
so I
even
have
an
it.
egg.
Yep.
I didn't have an egg.
Oh, we didn't let you carry one?
So
No.
Leonard still has the egg, which is a good thing. Is Leonard's the only one that wasn't thrown around like a rag doll. So there's no
I've
chance
still
of it
got a
being shattered.
rotting head.
Well, I did get my big toe stepped on.
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
actually
you got
didn't
smashed
get.
a bit, but
I actually didn't get damaged at all.
yeah, but you're fine. So you
I
still
would have been
your egg.
fine if it wasn't for my antics.
My antics.
So let's.
It would have made the fight a lot shorter if I could literally pump fire down his
Can I
throat.
say that like during my free time, I actually I try to find like a like whoever would be male person, you know,
Mhm.
sends mail. I want to send the rotting head that I have to the mayor that sent that guy to try and kill me.
So
There's nothing else,
Your
no
character would
message.
handle that the next day. I'd love to. Oh, there's my puppy. Your character handle that the next day. That'd be fun to RP, but nobody's gonna fucking carry a big rotting drachnid head. It's not gonna happen. You kidding me?
Let's
Yeah,
try it.
predators won't attack you while you're camping.
Wait, why don't you send the painting?
Oh yeah.
Painting's not done yet. All right.
painting isn't
So
done.
so let's wrap this up. All right. That was a fun session. You guys took down the trump card big monster scary bit, and
deal with
and are finally like pushing forward. The plan now is to go and find the Scoia'tael and take them down. We'll see how you
Oh.
guys handle that when you guys approach them. Please.
Did you miss that whole bit when you went to pee?
Oh no, I understood.
Okay, we made it.
I got the beginning part and the end part, so I understood.
Okay.
So, like I said, take them down. So, what's your name? Derp. Who are you? How can we find you?
Hi, I'm Rick. You can find me in chains, apparently, because fuck everyone. I make videos and Let's Plays and stuff. YouTube.com/DerpDigital. You can also find me on Twitch.tv/DerpDigital and Twitter. All the same stuff. Unified branding is glorious. I'm probably going to go back to Battletech now that I've finished up Airships Conquer the Skies, because Battletech, haven't played that in a while. It's fun.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And Messy. Who are you, sir?
Hi, I'm twitch.tv/messy_cat. I actually just filmed something with Dunce last night, which is pretty cool. That's going to be up on the YouTube. soon.
Pornhub?
No,
We
so
went for the same time.
I actually, for the first time in 6 months, no, 7 months. For the first time in 7 months, I uploaded another channel to my YouTube. I stopped doing it because they took away my monetization. But I decided I'd do one last hurrah of a fucking shitpost. And I did it and I edited it and it was super fun. So I'm restarting now doing more YouTube stuff just because I had a good time doing it. And I forgot what it was like to be able to edit for fun instead of for work, which is super cool. So check out the YouTube also. It's youtube.com/messycat.
Awesome. There you go. And Dunce, tell us about you, sir.
Hey, I'm twitch.tv/dunspace/subscribe. Give me money. That's pretty much it. That's my entire pitch.
But subscribing is free, you dunce.
Not on fucking.
Bottom dude.
And what's your face? Whoever the last one here is.
Neil or something? I'm not sure.
Hi,
I don't know.
I
Bob,
am
Neil and Bob, I don't know.
a sexy witch hunter called Neil.
How do you spell that?
Neal, the only way. I'm
There
Neil.
you go.
Meow.
KNEEL.
Meow?
You kneel.
Meow. Meow.
Meow.
Okay, meow.
You can find me on Twitter at nakai_.
KNEEL.
Alternatively,
What?
find me in an hour on twitch.tv
You kneel.
/Ollyrant for some Stars Without Number. Except we play it like hardcore because we decided that shields are for pussies. Rick.
Oh, he's calling you out for your Mass Effect campaign. Pfft, who plays?
Yeah,
a
he's
Mass
calling
Effect?
from beyond the grave at this point.
Oh, it sucks to be dead. I cried so many times.
I know
Sucks.
that sucked.
IRL feels suck. All right,
You
and
peed.
what?
He died in the Mass Effect.
Yeah,
series?
his character was my character's husband, and he died. So I had to like
Oh
cry over
my
his
God.
corpse, and then I had to bury him and stuff. It was
Is that
depressing.
clipped? Can I see that clip of you crying over his dead corpse?
don't know whether it was
depends on. Yeah, I don't think it's. You don't really to clip depressing things. You clip funny things.
Yeah, you click
I
funny.
clipped.
Yeah,
depressing-
that's exactly what he's asking for. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's funny
Funny.
when you cry.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But
I
my
feel better.
speech, I was like, this man. All right, so anyways,
So Scott told me afterwards
What a
all he
speech.
did to make himself cry was imagine never to stream with me again.
It's actually not. Shut up. No. So I'm Daelric. You can Google Daelric and you can find me that way. Or you've already found me on Twitch, so scroll down and click those links down there. Or if you found me on YouTube, hi.
Whoa!
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
That's our one YouTube shout out. That's the one YouTube people are gonna be like, man, I feel so unappreciated. It's like, no, we shouted you out for about 1 second.